Days when I was a kid, we had rappers that specified on certain issues. Slick Rick was the storyteller. Chuck D and Public Enemy were about the political issues. Rakim was about knowledge itself. And then you also had your Ice-T's and Eazy-E's that were about the streets and hustling and freedom of speech and so on and so forth. But nowadays, it's like you got 4 or 5 subjects that are constantly being pushed out in the public.
Right. But why? Is it because that's what we're allowed to listen to? Or is that because that's what's hot and that's what's popping? I mean, why? Because there are so many artists out here.
I think it's more, it starts with the artist, first of all. Like, when you creating a song, you know, whether it's for you, it's your life, or however you come up with that concept, you're coming up with a concept. So it's based off how you present that concept. As far as if it's hot or not, I think the way the music industry is now is that's what it's about. The, if you will, shoot 'em up, bang, bang, swag it out, you know, ride out, or club dance, booty music, you know, things like that. When back in the days, you know, they talked about life and things that happen in real life. And I think music needs to come back to that, you know.
And I think, too, I think we put a lot of responsibility on these artists. And not saying that they don't have any creative control, but the artist really is what who pushes that, you know, is what their label makes them.
Correct. So the creative team. That's
right.
True,
so if you, yeah, I'm gonna shake my booty and I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna bend over, I'm gonna slap it and do all this other stuff if that's what you're forcing me to do.
That's true.
And then not only are they forcing the artists, but then they're also forcing the listeners, because there's so much whack music that is just drilled into us day by day by day. True. That they're forcing it to be hot. Yeah. It's imposed on us. It's not like we decide what's hot.
But then imagine how it would be if they imposed that same, you know, that same rhythm of, you know, intensity as far as playing music back to back, if it was something a little more positive.
Right.
Or something a little more to say, well, this is how you could deal with this situation, or something dealing with the heart, or, you know, just different topics.
That's because that large engine that controls the media airwaves, that's what they want to pump out there. They don't pump the political rapper. They don't pump the conscious-minded rapper.
That's true.
Or singer.
That's true. Or singer. That's true.
And on top of that, to defend it also as well, because I don't want to put all the blame on the artist. In other industries, they do the same thing, like the film industry.
Exactly.
Sex and violence
sells.
That's
true.
That's
true. That's so true.
2 of the top 2 movie producers are guys like Wes Craven, Steven Spielberg, Stephen King, you know, and they do horror films, which glorifies the lifestyle of a serial killer.
That is true.
That's true.
At this present time, we do need to go ahead and take one more commercial break, but stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. The discussion is getting hot.
Will be.
Hey, welcome back, and you're watching Encore Forum. And I have to say, the discussion is getting hot in here tonight. So, before we went to the break, J Mix, you were talking about how some movie producers are able to express themselves, and they're not stereotyped as to being, okay, well, because they're creating horror flicks, then they have to be this type of person or live this type of lifestyle.
Right.
But oftentimes we find with artists that they are. So if you're singing a song, or if you're rapping lyrics talking about something that may have occurred in your neighborhood, or how you were brought up, or what you saw growing up as a child, then you're labeled that particular person according to your lyrics. But what about some of the lyrics and the artists are telling you, this is who I am. This is my lifestyle. I ride and die with it.
I think for some artists, that is their lifestyle. Some of them do ride and die. They might not get shot every day or what have you, but growing up in the communities we grow up in, you know, some of them, they have to really live out that lifestyle because that's the only way they know, you know. But I also feel like even though that image is out there, it still needs to be some individual to tell someone, well, it can be better. It doesn't have to be this way. You know, this might have been this person's lifestyle, but that don't necessarily mean that it has to be your lifestyle.
So again, going back to creating this particular alter ego, if you will, what are your opinions of artists creating an alter ego to either inspire their persona of who they are as an artist, or even putting forth their music, their lyrics? Do you think that artists should or should not have alter egos?
I think that we all do, in a way. You
Okay.
know, I think we all wear many hats. I'm a mom at home. I'll play around and be a kid, and at work. I'm a salesperson. I'll do this. I'll do that. And with my husband, I'm a different type of person. That's when the sexy, you know. So I think we all wear different hats. I think in the industry, though, we put you in a box. We put you in. You're an R&B artist. You're a neo soul artist. You're a this. You're a that.
Right.
And then that's how we market you. So I think that an alter ego definitely serves the entertainment purpose.
Okay.
You know.
Well, J Mix, what about you? Because as you stated, you grew up with old school hip hop. So when you have Public Enemy going forward and speaking on political issues,
we have to remember first and foremost that hip hop is street music. It comes from the urban environment. It comes from the ghetto. So, you know, me being a kid growing up in the ghetto, everybody had a nickname. Everybody had an alias. You know, nobody actually wanted to be called by their name. You know, you had a guy's name Sylvester or Theodore that, no, I'm not, don't call me Theodore, I'm T, you know. So that just comes with the territory. But at the same time, we have to also remember that, you know, when you're presenting something to the world, you have to be more universal. You have to be more well-rounded. You know,
More conscious.
Be more conscious.
And an alter ego is not always a bad thing. You know, I mean, I have an alter ego. My alter ego is Karizma. So it's like when I'm Karizma, you know, I feel like that's my stage performance. That's who I, you know, be, or that's what I do, and that's how I express myself musically. When I'm Sharita, I'm at home, like she said, you know, cooking, or, you know, I don't have kids, but, you know, taking care of my nieces and things like that. So you have to know how to separate them, you know, and present them the right way.
but how do you separate charisma with who you are, and more so, or more specifically, through your music?
Okay. I think I separate charisma as far as, because I sing and I rap.
Okay.
When I rap, to me, that's a way I can say whatever I want to say, you know, not necessarily negative, but I could just let it out. When I sing, I have to worry about the harmonies and the melodies, and I have to be more conscious. When I'm Sharita, I could just be myself. Even though I'm being charisma, I'm still being myself. That's just another part of me. So it's like I try to incorporate all of that into my music and talk about things that I go through, and, you know, just different topics. And when I write a song, it might not necessarily be something that I go through. It might be something that one of my friends go through, but I can write that into first person and make it feel as if I went through that. You know what I mean? So.
Well, J Mix, how about you? Do you have an alter ego?
Well, to be honest with you, for me, it's a little bit different. You know, for me, I'm J Mix 24/7. You know, J Mix is just an abbreviation of who I am. You know, first name Jeremy, last name Mixon, J Mix for short. So as far as alter egos go, that kind of doesn't change for me. Sometimes if I was to make to compare it to something or make a metaphor out of it, sometimes I kind of got to be like Superman. You know, when I'm at the job, I got to be Clark Kent. I have to be mild mannered and tone myself down a little bit. But when I'm out in the creative world, I can bring my true self out.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And what about you? When you're writing and you're working in journalism, do you have an alter ego? And what words? What is your message?
I don't think I have an alter ego.
Okay.
But I kind of feel like I've been blessed enough to have to avoid trying to get stuck in that box. When I come, I'm just coming with what I have, you know, and I'm just coming with the, you know, what's real to me, what feels real to me. I think when you come with an alter ego, I think an alter ego has its, you know, it has its place, it has its purpose, especially when you. I think especially when you want to convey a certain message, or when you want to, you know, you get when you're wearing your different hats.
Okay.
You know,
And it's a time and a place for it, you know.
Definitely
It's
agree.
a time and a place.
And unfortunately, this is all the time that we have for this segment. And it is, again, the spoken words and unspoken words of music. I would like to thank Karizma, J Mix, and Alicia for being on the panel tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And remember, words mean a lot. And in closing, I just want to say, remember when we were young and they say sticks and stones would break my bones, but names would never hurt me. Well, words are powerful.
They are.
And whether we're listening to words from someone speaking them to you, or whether we're listening to them through music. Music, again, like you stated, is universal, and it should be universal. So let's make sure that we understand the message that we're sending to our audience.
Correct.
Thank you, and have a good night.